How you guys doing, man? Welcome to Fev Reacts. And today we're gonna be reacting to the great news about the Noah's Ark, right? A lot of us contemplating how the Noah's Ark exists, how Noah heard from God and he built the ark. And there haven't really been evidence about the ark, historical evidence of the Bible being written in different languages, and that's proof that everything that's about the Bible is true. Now they have found historical evidence of the actual Noah Ark, right? It's not just the size of it. They actually found historical evidence of the size of the ark, and that's amazing, right? If God allows this to happen, it's on actual evidence. What more life would be saved in terms of getting to know Jesus, in terms of the truth. So without further ado, man, let's go ahead and see what this document has in store for all of us. Man, this is important. This is amazing. Now this is something stunning. This is stunning evidence. Noah's Ark.
On June 20th, 1987, in the mountains of Ararat, Turkey officially recognized the discovery of Noah's Ark. Located on a mountainside about 15 miles south of the volcanic Mount Ararat, the remains of the massive ship were dedicated during a special ceremony. Guest of honor was Ron Wyatt, due to his 10 years of research at the site. The story began in 1957 during the Cold War, when aerial photos taken of eastern Turkey while searching for Soviet missile bases revealed a strange boat-shaped formation in the mountains about 6,300 feet above sea level. Life magazine reported on the story after an expedition from the United States went to the site in 1960. Blowing holes in the strange formation, the members of the team came away with the conclusion that there was nothing there of any archaeological interest. Ron Wyatt, like many others, read the story, but he was of the opinion that the site needed further exploration. There had been many claims of seeing Noah's Ark on the volcanic Mount Ararat, but Ron knew that it was a stratovolcano, and he believed that nothing would have been able to survive there. He noted the biblical account of the ark.
So, as we can see right now, it said that in Genesis 8 verse 4, the archaeologist, the scientists found out that, the ark has to exist. That's something amazing. The ark has to exist. As you can see right now in Genesis 8 verse 4, it said, "And the ark rested in the 7th month, on the 17th day of the month, upon the mountain of Ararat." So the ark rested in the 7th month, on the 17th day of the month. So a 7th month is, in our case, our calendar would be considered July, right? And the 17th day would be July the 17th, upon the mountain of Ararat, right? That mountain is the mountain of Ararat. So that's evidence where the ark is rested right now.
And the ark rested in the 7th month, on the 17th day of the month, upon the mountains of Ararat.
Mountains.
Urartu, the biblical Ararat, was a large region in eastern Turkey. This location was certainly feasible. But the factor that captured his interest the most was the length given in the Life magazine story, 500 feet. Most people were looking for a 437-foot Noah's Ark based on the Hebrew cubit, but Ron again went to the Bible to learn more. And Moses was learned in all the wisdom of the Egyptians. Moses was the author of the Genesis account of the flood. He would have known the cubit of the Egyptians. The Hebrew cubit didn't come into existence until there was a Hebrew nation after Moses' death. The Encyclopedia Britannica stated, "The Egyptian cubit is generally recognized as having been the most ubiquitous or universal standard of linear measurement in the very ancient world. The royal cubit equals 20.62 inches. This would mean Noah's Ark was much longer than 437 feet. 17 years after the Life magazine article, Ron finally made the journey to Turkey. When he saw the boat-shaped object, he saw that it looked just like it did in 1960, and he knew he would need permission to excavate in order to learn anything about what was beneath the surface. So he returned home and enlisted a number of friends to help him pray for an earthquake to reveal more. In late 1978, he learned of an earthquake in eastern Turkey and returned in August of 1979. When he arrived, he was overwhelmed by what he saw. The earthquake had dropped the soil around the object, and a large crack extended the entire length. He could see what looked to him like the remains of decayed rib timbers along the now exposed sides.
So wood timber were used, and he's seen evidence. The scientist, the archaeologist, has seen evidence of the wood timber. That's something amazing. You don't often hear, you don't often see. That's unique. That's unique in itself.
Also, he was able to measure the depth of the debris and measure the length. It was 515 feet, or exactly 300 Royal Egyptian cubits. He was now convinced. He carefully combed the surface, looking for evidence that it was a shipwreck. He saw what he believed were petrified structures of an ancient ship whose deck had collapsed. He saw what looked like deck joists and deck support timbers. Of particular interest was the fact that the ship appeared to be impaled on a large outcropping of limestone. He concluded the pitch. He found an ancient stele, like an ancient billboard, which depicted the boat shape, the familiar mountain ridge, several birds, and 8 faces within the boat shape. Clearly, this was a reference to the ship of Noah and its 8 survivors. He noticed a taller mountain peak on the stele that was no longer visible from that location. He concluded that it was a small volcano that had erupted long after Noah's Ark had landed, and that it had carried the ship down the mountainside about a mile, where it was impaled on the limestone outcropping, then covered in lava. The lava then encased the ship like a time capsule. The volcano then collapsed after expending its lava and was no longer visible. He then theorized that as the lava began to decay, water seeped in and allowed the remains to be petrified or fossilized by the process called mineral replacement. Molecule by molecule would be washed away from the remains and replaced by molecules from the objects and substances above it. Specimens of rock which looked very unique to him. He took several samples, along with several specimens from the boat shape below. Back home, he sent them for analysis. The results showed organic carbon, which indicated that the samples were consistent with decayed and fossilized wood. They also contained metals such as iron and aluminum.
Apparently, they did an analysis, some parts or component of the ship that's somehow metal. The scientist, Ron Wyatt, is actually doing a lot of measurement has taken place. You see all the preparation, the lines, the rocks, measuring different width and the height. That's quite amazing. You don't also often see that, but to actually see that actually took place and they have evidence that the Ark actually exists in the Ararat Mountains. At this point, we can tell you that the Ark has somehow decomposed and had become part of the actual mineral of the earth.
The boat-shaped site was first found and photographed by a Turkish army captain back in 1959. It was quickly explored and dismissed as a freak of nature. But Wyatt, an amateur archaeologist, rekindled interest in it a few years ago. He brought in Dave Fassel, a marine salvage expert, to assess it. The Doomsday Mountain team brought in some high technology to explore the oldest legend of man. They began scanning their site with a molecular frequency generator. It's a device used by surgeons to pinpoint cancer tumors, and it's been used by Fassel to locate underwater treasure. This time, the molecular frequency generator began to pick up a unique pattern of iron lines beneath the earth.
Okay, bring that one up.
So as you can see at this point that, they're using high sophisticated technology to detect certain materials, components, below the surface of the earth, to see where the art has been buried, what component, of it is still there. Highly advanced technology.
They began placing ribbons along those lines. The finished shape, outlined by the ribbons, was that of a huge ship, the approximate length and width of Noah's Ark, as described in the Bible. The fascinating field of ribbons soon attracted higher academic interest.
That looks like iron. Okay.
Dr. John Baumgartner, a physicist with Los Alamos Laboratories, sent samples back to the lab for analysis and confirmed that the metal they were tracing with the ribbons was indeed iron. With the width and the length known, the only remaining question was depth. By locating the depth of the hull, they could determine if the boat-shaped object had the cargo capacity described in the biblical ark. To resolve this final issue, Wyatt and Fassel brought geologist Tom Finner to Turkey with his company's heavy-duty subsurface radar equipment. Gear like this located the black box cockpit recorder on the floor.
So now he's using a subsurface, something you would use in a submarine, using it to check the depth of how far deep is the ark, which will detail its height, because it's buried underground.
Of the frozen Potomac River after the Air Florida crash. It was here, several miles short of the boat-shaped site, that a waiting game began for Finner and the others. The party needed a final go-ahead from the Turkish government to complete their probe of Doomsday Mountain. The restrictions of martial law left the American explorers isolated from the outside world. Not even a telephone.
Yeah. Anyway, we're going to hang in like smell on a skunk till there's nothing left to get this done.
Hang in like the smell on a skunk. The Turkish government stopped the exploration. What now?
Since we were there, Barbara, things have cooled down, and they've sent their own team of scientists in to take a look at this site. It's a very fascinating location.
While Turkish scientists and archaeologists did their own research, Ron and his associates continued their work. The next step was subsurface interface radar.
There's the longitudinal bulkhead. You ought to see them popping out, Ron.
Yeah, there they are.
There's another one.
As you can see, they're actually using that machine, that technology, to actually measure the height, the depth of the machine. You can see right now, they're doing that advanced technology. They know how to read it. So this is it's quite interesting.
There's the key line right there.
Yeah.
Oh, Ron, the lines are there. The lines are there.
Okay, we're going to walk over. Take a look.
Leave it running so everybody knows that we're not cheating here, right?
You got it. Cool.
Okay. Now, this is the west bulkhead. Okay, can you look through there?
All right.
This is the west bulkhead.
All right.
That was over there. And he walked easterly. Here we start getting the longitudinal bulkheads. Here.
Okay.
You see there how it shows up?
Right.
The initial scans were very impressive, showing internal structure consistent with bulkheads and rooms. But to be sure they were interpreting the data correctly, Ron took the scan printouts to Geophysical Survey Systems, the developer and manufacturer of the radar. This fossilized specimen shows that rivets were used in its construction. Their analysis showed that they contained iron, titanium, and aluminum, among other things. Very sophisticated. Revealed a ship, although damaged and collapsed in places, of very intelligent, modern design with a ramp system at the door which led to each level. In 1990, Ron performed what he called a mini excavation, where he took shovels and bent the blade.
So tell you, the sophistication, the wisdom that God had bestowed upon Noah to build the ark is magnificent, The sophistication he utilized was magnificent. Noah was moved with faith in Christ the Lord, God spoke to him and he was able to build the ark. And you know, the evidence of his faith was shown when the actual rain came and just flooded the earth, and he and his family were saved, and the animals that were in there were likewise saved. So everybody has perished except Noah and his 7 other family members. So that way they multiplied, and we have the whole earth. That's amazing, right? Man, I hope this reaction video really bless you guys, man. This actually exists. This to tell you that the evidence of the thing of God actually exists. The evidence of those who actually have faith exists. You know, everything that actually you read in the Bible actually happened. You know, there's no lie in the Bible. Everything that you read in the Bible actually happened. You know, Noah actually built the ark. The ark came into existence. You know, this is the evidence of the ark existence. Although it was made out of wood, so therefore it was able to stay afloat in the midst of these ravaging waters. So this is a blessing, you know. It's a blessing, man. I hope this bless you guys. You guys stay tuned. You guys stay tuned for more commentary. And the next video is coming up, man. I hope this really bless you guys, man. Stay tuned, man. Stay blessed, man. Shalom.